Alright guys, Michael Jacobzak here. Thanks for tuning in. This is your exclusive video on how to win a bidding war in the crazy hot Toronto condo market. If you've been looking in the market, you definitely come across this. If you just started, you will come across this. And if you haven't started, this is a great start because this will get you the hedge you need to win your dream condo the first time you submit an offer. Now, I'm going to give you a lot of information. Stay tuned. The video might be a little bit long, but I'll tell you right now, all this information is very key. And stay to the end, because at the end, I'm going to give you some secret tips, the secret sauce, if you may, that I use to hedge my offers with my clients. Now, why I put together this video is working with Zolo Realty. We have over 4 million active users on our website. I'll tell you right now, if you haven't been on the website, check it out. It's one of the best ways to shop around for properties. But what happens, and this happens every time, all of a sudden I get someone inquiring about the latest, hottest property, all of a sudden I get a message, I give them a shout, find out that the listing, just say the condo they're inquiring about, one is either sold already, sold conditionally, has a review date for today or possibly tomorrow. Now, if it's tomorrow or today, obviously we can get in before, but the main thing that I asked them, one, are you ready if this is the property to put an offer together? And most of them are like, well, yeah, but it's like, no. It's a bidding war. There's probably gonna be 5, 6 offers on this property. Like, to actually get this done, we need to, make our offer as clean as possible and to get it, obviously, because there's many aspects of an offer. It's not just price. They most likely want a clean offer. Are we ready to do that? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will obviously go into all this stuff in more detail as we jump into this stuff. But for now, most of the time, they're not ready. And the next question I ask, how long have you been looking for? And they say, well, 2-3 months. Are you working with an agent? And then they say, well, no, I figured I'd just do this myself. Now the problem is you're not set up. You're working backwards instead of, you're finding the property because it's exciting to look at the property, but you're not preparing yourself to actually get the property of your dreams accepted. So we're going to jump into that. That's why I'm doing the video. I hope you get some key stuff that you're going to use moving forward to help you get that, dream condo you're looking for. Starting off, what I'm going to do is, do a little crash course, we'll say, on what's going on in the market, why these bidding wars are happening. The reason why I like to educate people on this is to give you an idea of where we're at and why we're doing this. Because, people always think that there's a misconception that, no, like bidding wars, I don't want to get into it, I'm going to overpay, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, when the market is where we're at, there's a reason why real estate agents use this strategy, because it drives prices up. Now, jumping into it, I'm going to show you these numbers. Like I said, I'm not going to bore you too long with this information because hopefully, one, the agent you're working with understands this and educates you on this, but if not, this is going to give you a little crash course on what's going on. Now, when we look up, this is the Market Watch tables. This is available for agents, but like I said, if you have an agent or give me a call, I can give you this information. Like I said, I send this information out all to my buyers on a regular, my sellers as well, and I put it in different charts and all that. So message me, I'll get it to you. But okay, just looking at the numbers here, what I really like to follow, and they'll tell you the sales, dollar amount, average, new listing, active listings, MOI, month of inventory, average sales price, the listing price, days on market is DOM. Now, like I said, we're focusing on condos, so let's just look at this number. Sales for April, these are April's numbers. May's will come out in the beginning of in the beginning of June. May's will come out. Now, what we're looking at is 2218 is sales. If we keep going across, don't worry about average price and all that. It's numbers you can look at, but new listings is important, 3652. Keep going, and active listings, 3394. Now, this is the number you want to look at. Months of inventory. The reason I say this, months of inventory will dictate what's going on with pricing. It's supply and demand, economics 101, if you may. When there's low supply, there's the demand will outweigh, which will drive prices up. Now, last year, we were seeing months of supply under 1 month, which we haven't seen in 20 years, which is why you were seeing everyone go nuts. Prices were going skyrocketing. Now, the condo market, because it's essentially the cheapest, buying price to get into real estate in the Toronto market, or any market really, you're going to see like the demand's always going to be there because it's lower price points. Now, if you look at this chart, months of inventory for semi-detached in Toronto is 1.5 as well. So it's very competitive. Everyone from semi-detached all the way down. But like I said, we're focusing on condos. So 1.5. Now, average sale listing price and sale price, when it's over 100 and over, that's telling you that there's the bidding wars that are going on, right? It means they're listing it low, getting higher. Average days on market, you're looking at 18 and 15 and for semi-detached. Now, if you just want to follow, Zolo's a great, if you go to zolo.ca and if you click on Toronto and then you go down to market stats, this will give you a snapshot, and Zolo comprises this information on a regular basis, so this will change every day, which is good because it gives you an idea of what's going on. Now, all these stats, you can obviously take some time, look at it a little bit longer. I'm not going to bore you with them, but here's a snapshot of the Toronto housing inventory as a whole. Inventory, if you divide your homes sold with new listings, you're going to get, like I said, the 1.5 in and around there, which, like I said, that months of inventory, when it's under 3 months of inventory, it's a seller's market. When it's 4 to 5 months, it becomes a balanced market. Anything higher is a buyer's market. Now, that shouldn't discourage you. You should know that, because when you're going into your offers, you need to use this information to your advantage. So this is a great, like I said, website for stats. Like I said, it has all the what's going on with the markets, past last year and all that. Take some time. Like I said, I'm not going to bore you with this stuff right now. Now, that is key to what's going on with the market. Now, as I said, bringing it back to when someone calls me, what's going on there. Right away, when I find out they don't have an agent, like I said, a lot of times I'm not the listing agent. I'm a buyer's rep. Like I said, I do have listings, of course, but most of the time when people are inquiring, they're not inquiring specifically about my listings. Now, what you should be doing is, one, spend some time finding an agent you want to work with. A lot of misconceptions about people, I'll just do it myself and I'll potentially work with a listing agent. To me, there's about 1,000 things that I can mention about this. I'm not going to go into depth about it, but bottom line is you want to get someone that's going to represent your interests and get your back to go through this process, because it's no money out of your pocket. They're going to get paid on the listing side either way. You're not saving money by going to the listing agent. They're not going to drop their commission. Trust me. Anytime that people even try that on me when I'm on my listings, it doesn't happen. I spend a lot of money marketing. I do plan on getting paid on both ends if that circumstance comes up. Now, you want to spend some time getting your agent. Once you have your agent, obviously, hopefully they're going to go through this. You want to talk to the bank, figure out where you're at in terms of financing, what can you afford. You don't need to spend all that, but you need to know that you can essentially get approved for to put that offer together. Now, I would always recommend talking to a mortgage broker as well as the bank. Typically, they got more boxes that they can source from for funds, whereas the bank, they got their boxes that they're going to try to fit you in. Now, once you have that, just say you're good for 500. Like I said, you don't need to spend that. That just gives you the ceiling of where we need to be. Anything higher, just because you're good for 500, if you're in a bidding war, you're not looking at properties that are listed over or at 490 if the building per square footage is selling well over that. It's just setting you up to fail. So hopefully your agent kind of gives you, a little lesson on certain buildings and what they're selling at based on square footage. Now, once you have your financing in place, you're going to obviously start looking at properties now. But having said that, you need to have your power team kind of lined up. Your lawyer. This is key. If you don't have this, most of the time your agent's going to have lawyers they use on a regular. Like my lawyers don't charge me to review status certificates. What status certificate is basically the financials of a building. This is the most important aspect of when you're purchasing a condo. It's essentially inspecting the building financially. Is it properly managed? Is there any lawsuits going on? Assessments? Has the money been properly managed? That hey, if the building's a little bit older, have they and they're doing the windows, do they have enough money for that? And if not, will there be a special assessment that they're going to be pooling money from the owners? And if you're buying into the thing, this is going to be your responsibility. So you want to have a lawyer review the status. Now, in a bidding situation, typically the status will be pulled. You want to review this prior to your offer being, submitting your offer, so that you can get this condition off your offer. The more conditions you can remove, the better chances you can get your bid accepted. I'll tell you right now, price, although is important, doesn't necessarily get all the attention. Clean offers do carry a lot of weight. And you gotta remember, if a clean offer is 5-10 grand less than the highest bid, they may take it. It does happen. Sometimes it doesn't, but you want to clean up the offer as much as possible. So having your lawyer 100% is going to give you a lot of leverage there. Now, when it comes down to pricing, putting together, you're obviously going to go through the comps, what's selling. The best thing about condos, it's probably 100 times easier to price out condos based on what's selling in the building, because so many units trade on a regular. Same time, other units in the area, compared to the detached market last year. You had so many, all of a sudden like 100,000 could separate you from the next bid, and then you gotta ask how are we out 100,000? It's just there's way bigger. It's much harder to price out detached homes on a regular compared to condos, right? Condos very similar throughout the building, so it's much easier. So that's good to know based on what's going on with the market. So once you have all those, when you're looking at property, you definitely want to get into a property sooner. They do accept sometimes preemptive offers. So that's basically the agent has a review date. It's typically 7 days. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but typically you're find out when the listing agent has a review date. You want to get into this property pretty much on day one, because if they are accepting preemptive offers, and even if they're not, I still ask myself, because you never know. If you can get an offer in before anyone else, and obviously there's less competition, because what happens is when we submit an offer, they will blast everyone that's seen the property. So if they are accepting preemptive offers and you submit your offer on day 1, day 2, chances are there's only so many people that's seen that property. There might be another offer that comes in, but at least there's not 5 or 6. So that is a great tip right there. Now, for those who, like I said, you want to get in this sooner than later, because the longer you wait, like I said, it just gives more people the opportunity to get in. Now, if they're not accepting preemptive offers, what you got to do is obviously get into the property. Then, like I said, if the status certificate has been pulled, we want to review that to get our offers as clean as possible. Typically, lawyers will charge for this, but like I said, if you have a relationship with lawyers, they may not charge you as long as you use their services moving forward. But that is up to the discretion of the lawyer. Now, if they do not have the status certificate pulled, we're going to have that condition in there. You're never going to, no agent's going to tell you to waive that condition based on, the fact that units trade in the building. You should have that, because that is essentially protecting you on, or letting you know what's going on with the building. And it doesn't matter if it's a newer building or an older building. Bottom line is, new buildings have sometimes lawsuits with the developers, and there's a lot of problems sometimes with new buildings. So do not get into the habit of, because it's newer, there should be less issues. The older the building, the better it is, essentially, for the track record, what's going on with management and the money. So it's very important. All right, guys, another thing I want to cover is part of your offer, deposits. Obviously, the more the better. It just makes your offer seem stronger. Obviously, like ideally, they want to see 5%. At the end of the day, if you can't do that, it is what it is. But if you could do 5%, that is typical what agents want to see with their offers. Closing date. Obviously, if you're flexible, you pretty much want to go with what they want. At the same time, if they're flexible, just work it out between what's best for everyone. So those are my conditions. Like I said, you want to keep everything as clean as possible to hedge your offer, to make your offer seem better. All right, guys, just to give you some real life examples here, just to let you know what I'm talking about regarding review dates. I'm just on our MLS database here. Searched Toronto waterfront communities, basically, the heart of downtown, the condo market. Now, as you can see, these are all the kind of areas. Now, I'll just jump in the first listing here. It's already sold conditionally, as you can see, but if you look, May 23rd offer date. Let's skip ahead. Seller reserves the right to accept preemptive. 22nd, May 22nd. Tenant lease ends October 31st. So anytime there's a tenant in it, not a good idea to be doing bidding war, because obviously tenants got to stay in it. Here we go. Tuesday, May 29th, 8 p.m. is this offer date. And let's do one more. Okay, look at this. One preemptive offer received. Seller willing to look at preemptive offer. Easy to show. Blah, blah, blah. And this is 2 days on the market. So these are some of the live examples of what I'm talking about. Just to give you, like I said, an example of what's going on. All right, guys. And last but not least, like I said, thanks for staying around, because my tricks that I specifically use all the time that work really well is, one, like I said, we get into the property as soon as possible. It allows myself, if I know this is a property for you that you really want, it allows me to build rapport longer with the agent. So it's me, talking to the agent, finding out a little bit more about the property, the seller, and potentially using that for my advantage. Now, like I said, the longer I have with that, allows me to, more time the better. Number two, and my favorite thing to do is definitely encourage to submit buyer letters to the seller. Now, all this is just trying to get the, on the hard side of the seller, because at some point, if our offers are very close, sometimes the seller doesn't go with the best offer, the highest offer. They go with one that kind of hit the heart. And there's stuff in the news that, last year you had some property selling, the detached market, 100, 200,000, 300,000 under the highest bid, because, a letter kind of did the trick. I'm not saying you're going to get that much money off, but if it keeps us in the mix of potentially getting that property, it's not going to hurt us. It may not do nothing, but it's not going to hurt us. And that, to me, is one of the most valuable things that you should be doing. All right, guys, there you have it. Those are my tips, tricks, and just how to get or hedge yourself to win in Toronto's hot condo market. Hopefully you got some value out of this. If you have any questions or you're looking for specific data for areas in Toronto, definitely touch base, because like I said, it's what I love looking into and helping out clients. So guys, I hope to see you in the next sale, and let's get it done. Talk to you soon.